This is a Your Last Resort production.
And welcome back to Your Last Resort podcast with your host, Brandon Lejean. This is the intro. Funny story, if you saw me stutter right there, the last time we did an intro last episode where I talked to you guys, and I said your last review at the intro, and I had to cut it, so there was like a little awkward cut. If you listened, you might have noticed. Maybe you didn't. Go back and look. I don't know. But, dude, today we filmed episode 102 here on Saturday, March 12th. So this will be out March 16th when you're watching it, a few days before. Dude, great guest, JaMarr John Johnson. Want to make sure I got his full name right because most of my guests don't use their middle names. Dude, super awesome guy, super positive dude. He's hilarious. We actually did a show together. You hear us talk about it. We did a dope show this Thursday called Bomb or Get Bombed, hosted by the one and only Jimmy Clifford, who was on episode 95, I believe, of the podcast. But it's a dope concept where basically every time your joke bombs, you got to take a drink. So if you bomb, you get bombed. So it was a great time, great show. Shout out Jimmy for putting me on. I really, really enjoyed it. But that's where I met JaMarr, and he just has a very interesting, cool way of looking at things. And he treats this like a business, and he's very successful because of it. And I think that in life, there's so many different paths of what you can and what you can't do. And I think that people sometimes, you have this like preconceived notion of like, I have to do this. Okay, if I'm a comedian, I have to do it X, Y, and Z. If I'm a this, I have to do X, Y, and Z. But there's so many ways now that we've learned that you can, if the end goal is here, you can go here, you can go fucking here, you can go diagonal. Like, it doesn't matter. It's just about making it to that end goal. And he's found so many cool ways to do that. He's put me onto so many cool things that I'm looking forward to sharing with you and hopefully growing my audience and my fan base. And yeah, dude, it's just, I'm broker than I've ever been, and I'm the happiest I've ever been in my life. Life's good. We did a show. I did a show yesterday at the wonderful Unicorn Extravaganza. Shout out my homie Jordan McDonald for putting on a dope show. This was probably one of the best experiences of my comedy career so far in Austin. You guys know Jordan. He was on episode 101. He was on an earlier episode. He is my co-host of Your Last Review. He's a funny dude, and he runs a super dope show, and I've been wanting to do it, and he had me on, and it was cool because it was up in it was called the Romo Room, and now then the Brass Tap Domain, and then it's also called the North Star Comedy Club now, and it's a dope room. And dude, he runs a fucking sick show. Like, not only was it a great show with comics, but then at the end, a band performs, and it's not like you think. It's not some fucking podunk band. It is a house band with rapper Shelly Nix, who did episode 99 of the podcast. So yesterday was a great day for me because I probably had one of the best sets I've had out here. One of my best sets ever in comedy. I mean, I hit a pocket. I hit a zone. For 10 minutes, I killed. It felt effortless and smooth. It was so fun. The worst fucking part is my phone ran out of space as I walked on stage. Because for those who don't know, as comedians, you record your sets. That's how we get funny clips. How I could get a tape to submit to festivals. I fucking am so mad that it didn't record. And it's my fault because I should have checked the iPhone storage. It was full because I had a podcast episode still on my phone that I didn't even need. It's already uploaded. It's just my fault. I should have deleted it. Should have checked. Won't make that mistake again. But I wasn't going to let that ruin my night. Great night. Got to perform with my friends. Everyone did great. I had a great set. And then, dude, the coolest part is Shelly Nix closed out the show. And I know that I have a lot of friends on here, but Shelly Nix is a musician and rapper that I am a fan of, a huge fan. So, dude, I treated that shit like dude, it's a small room. It's not Madison Square Garden or anything like that. But, dude, I got to chill on the side of where he was performing. I treated that shit like I was backstage getting to watch a rapper. It was so cool. He did Auto, which is my favorite song, and he dedicated it to his white boy Brandon, which that's gonna be something I want carved on my grave. It was so cool, dude, though, and I was fucking getting lit in that bitch. Like, I was dancing in the front row, jumping up and down, and dude, I know what I look like dancing. I know I am a goofy white boy. I could see a dude recording me and laughing at me, but here's the thing, bro. Shelly is a dope artist, and he makes dope music. and I don't give a fuck what other people think. So I'm a enjoy that shit, and I danced, and I don't care because, you know, dude, I want to support my boys, and I want to have a good time. And dude, I basically got paid to do, I got paid to do comedy yesterday and then see one of my favorite artists right now. So life's fucking great, dude. Life's awesome. South by Southwest is going on. Party for the next 10 days. I got booked on a South by Southwest show, 7:30 and a 10:30 on 6th Street, Monday, South by Southwest. I cannot fucking wait. Life's good, dude. Couldn't be happier. Thank you to anyone who's ever supported me now. Before I start crying like a little baby on this camera, enjoy episode 102 with JaMarr John Johnson, and I'll see you next time. And welcome back to the Your Last Resort podcast with your host, Brandon Lejean. This week it's episode 102. This week is my guest joining, JaMarr John Johnson. Thanks for doing the podcast. Make sure you check out his new book, out now too. So
appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you for doing the podcast. Glad to have. You're from LA, right?
I'm originally from New York City. But I've been living in LA for 8 years now.
Okay, yeah.
Thanks so much for having me on the podcast, man. It was great performing with you the other night.
Yeah, no, dude, that was fun. Yeah, that was a blast.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so for those listening, we did this fun show, which I think it's such a great idea for a show by Jimmy. It's called Bomb or Get Bombed at Poor Choices once a month. And the concept is basically we go up on stage with a drink, and if a joke doesn't hit, they play with a soundboard. What was the noise again? It was
womp, womp, womp,
yeah,
womp.
Yeah, the famous ass noise. And then
the womp womp. They call it the womp womp.
Yeah. And so you do that. You got a drink, but then if a joke hits and the audience doesn't laugh, they play a dolphin noise. Yeah, that was a good impression.
Yeah, close.
It sounded a little bit like a horse too, though. You're in
yeah.
between a horse
It
and
was
a
like
dolphin.
it was sped up. It was kind of overdone.
Yeah. And then and it's fun because like the audience gets to feel like they're a part of the show.
Yep.
And it's an excuse to drink. It creates a fun atmosphere. It was my first time doing that show, and it was a blast. It was a good time.
Was a blast. Yeah, I had a lot of fun. I would recommend that he provides shots. Because I feel like if people are drinking beer and Miller Lights and all sorts of shit, you're not getting bombed if you're drinking that.
I mean, I was drinking a Lone Star on stage.
You know what I mean? I flew in from LA to do the show because I'm here for South by Southwest.
Yeah.
And I was a little nervous. I was like, this is a degree of difficulty I haven't done in a while because I don't really perform under the influence that much.
Yeah.
I'm more of a clear head. I need to be sharp.
I understand.
Once in a while, I'll experiment with weed, right?
Yeah.
And just go up a little high, and then it makes it difficult. But you have fun because you're like, oh, this is
something new. It's like a challenge
almost, right? It's like a choose your own adventure.
Yeah.
But when I realized, I asked him, I said, Jimmy, what are you drinking? He was like, Miller Lite. I'm like, man, I ain't good about this. Like, let me get a Corona.
Yeah.
I'm like, I had 3 Coronas and I was fine. I didn't even feel a thing. I'm a 215-pound man. It's
exactly.
It's going to take more than that to take me under.
Yeah.
And then before the show, I was a little nervous too because they had all the checkpoints and they were like, hey, don't drink and drive.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, I'm going to get bombed at the show. And then end up trying to get back to my Airbnb. This is going to be quite the interesting story.
What a terrible day. You just have a shit set and then you get a DUI on the way home. Exactly. You're like, this is the worst day ever.
It's the worst day ever. Yeah.
Yeah, well, because you're right. Because I mean, if you're doing a 8 to 10 minute set, you got to do the shots to get drunk. Because it's still a fun concept. I think it's more because it's for not the comics, it's for the audience.
Sure.
So it's the whole drinking.
Interaction. Yeah.
But it would be fun to see because I think you have a good point where it's like, okay, I go up, my first couple jokes don't hit, I get a few shots of me, now maybe a little loose, a little goofy, some riffs happen, and boom, you get that fun atmosphere. So that's actually a really good idea.
Yeah. I mean, and I didn't tell it to Jimmy yet because I didn't want him to think that I didn't have fun. I enjoyed it.
No, it's a great,
but I think that if, let's say Jimmy shows up with his own bottle of Jack Daniels, for example, right? That he has.
Yeah.
And he's not selling it, but this is just for the performance aspect.
Exactly.
Then the bar, they're not going to say, everybody, comics still support the venues, right?
Yeah.
Buy a drink or two. But when you're on stage, it's like having them pour it out.
Yeah.
And then it's like, wah, 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 wah. And then you got to go, oh, man. You're like, oh.
It hits different.
It hits different. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good idea.
And so I'm going to do that with my show back in LA.
Yeah.
I'm going to call it something different.
Okay.
But it's going to be, and then I'm going to try to get a whiskey sponsor. There's actually there's a whiskey company that is made up of veterans.
Oh, that's
I think
awesome.
it's called 11 Horsemen.
Okay.
Or it might be called 12 Horsemen. I think it's like the 12 Horsemen.
Yeah.
12 Horsemen whiskey. And then I'm going to hit them up with that concept and say, listen, I got this idea. We can do it over at the VFWs, and there's VFWs all around the nation. And next thing you know, we'll be on tour. Listen, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a hustler.
No, that's a great idea, dude. That's a really, look at you just coming up with ideas on here. I love it, dude. I love it. Because we were talking about the show with the whole idea of bomb or get bombed. You said you've been doing comedy for 17
years. Yeah.
Wow, that's a long time, dude. So you started in New York.
And actually, I started in Newport, Rhode Island.
Wow. There's a comedy scene in Rhode Island?
There actually is.
Is it good at least? Yeah.
I mean, it's tied into the Boston
Oh,
Rhode Island has a comedy connection. I actually do a lot of shows there at the comedy connection. But they're tied into the Boston scene. So a lot of it is like, okay, you got to go up to Providence, Rhode Island, or you drive up to Boston. But yeah, they have a little scene. I mean, anywhere you have young creative people. Remember, Rhode Island has University of Rhode Island, which is the art institute.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of creative
that makes
types.
sense.
Yeah,
that's really cool. Yeah, because I started in Orange County, which is obviously a little bigger than Rhode Island, but it's that smaller scene where it's tied into LA and it's close. But it was like I'm from Brea, so
and you got the Brea Improv over
but they
there.
don't do any open mics.
No, they don't do open.
No,
yeah, because they just import top talent.
Yeah,
and so it creates ends up not being a scene. So you have to kind of create your own sub scene.
Exactly.
And build, but which honestly, doing it that way. It's better for you because you got to understand this is a business before it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, you can have fun and you got to develop yourself, and it takes a while to learn your own voice and really be your authentic self up there. But the minute you can learn how to get bodies in seats, you are in control of your whole entire career.
Yeah.
Because everywhere you go, you understand I got to make connections, I got to meet people. And what do I got to do? I got to invite them to my business. Mm-hmm. My business is whatever room I'm running and whatever show I'm on. And I got to keep people, and I got to get them hooked on my product. Yeah. And if your product is shitty, they're not going to come back. And then maybe you'll get better at your job.
Exactly. No, that's a good way to look at it. I think a lot of people, because comedy's so fun, dude. We get to tell jokes and be silly and get fucked up and do cool things. But it also, at some point, has to be a little bit of a business. You got to sell that brand.
Not at some point. At all times, it needs to be a business. But the thing is you have to understand how to turn off when you're in a creative moment and element, how to just be fully present in that. But the minute that you're out of that, you got to ask yourself, well, how do I line up things around it so that I can keep doing it?
Yeah, right? Okay, yeah.
Everything that I do is so that I can perform when I want, or so that I can go do a show. Look, I mean, shout out to Jimmy. I mean, we got paid for doing the show. Yeah. But like, I didn't expect to get paid because I know that I'm going out and investing time and energy to make connections, to make friends, right, to make partnerships, and so you invest in yourself. I was flying out to South by Southwest anyway, so I was like, well, let me stack other things on top of the visit I'm already coming for, right? So, and then from there. I went and saw at South by Southwest one of the interviews that I saw was Bob Odenkirk. Wow. Bob Odenkirk and his son Peter, they both came together, and Bob, of course, he's connected. Got his son connected to Audible.com, and they did an interactive audio book. Wow. That's launching in a couple of months.
Is it Bob Odenkirk's new book, the comedy one?
No, it's not that one. He's on tour. Yeah, it's a separate one. Wow. It's one that him and his son made. I think it's called like Summer in some random town. Summer in Patagonia or Summer in Avalon, I think is what it's called. So something like that. But the point though is, like, and he's a former stand-up comedian. Yeah. And he used to struggle, and then he got on Breaking Bad, and then his career revitalized. Yeah. And then he's a spinoff show, Better Call Saul.
Dude, amazing.
But he was just talking about that grind. But the thing is you got to keep your skills sharp, but you have to always be looking for opportunities to connect, right? Mm-hmm. Not just with industry people, but with people who have their ear to the streets, good promoters, good people who know how to get people in rooms. Yeah. Because that skill set it's one that's going to get harder and harder. Mm-hmm. I'm actually about to start moving comedy into the metaverse.
Wow, that's a good idea.
I already have 32,000 people. Wow. We can talk about it later, but that way, I don't got to leave my house. Yeah. Unless it's for serious money, because I can just build an audience and just work on the craft. Mm-hmm. And with anything in business, first mover's advantage is major. Yeah. Because first mover's advantage allows you to start to gather the audience, set the expectations on the quality of the type of programming you're going to put together, and then it's like if people get into momentum, they just know to check in every Tuesday, every Thursday. Yeah. And then it's like, are they going to go do other things and risk it not being as good as what they know?
The product that they trust. It's like going to a restaurant. I always get the same thing I go to the same restaurant because I go there for that product. Wow. Yeah. I love the way you think, because you have a very creative way, because you were even talking to me about like the whole crypto thing and how you've started accepting tickets in that and doing a whole different avenue. So that's really, it's cool to see people thinking in different initiatives and ways.
And I think that we have to be, because like what we do, money is so few and far in between. You have to find creative ways to stack your money together, because you're not going to do it just doing shows.
Yeah.
Right?
Of course.
Unless you're producing the whole entire thing. But if you're just appearing on other people's shows, you know, you're getting weekdays in LA, you're getting $45, maybe $50.
Yeah.
Weekends, maybe 75, maybe 100.
Barely scraping together.
That's generous.
Yeah.
But if you're producing the show, you're pocketing $500 to $1,500 to $2,000 a night.
Yeah.
But there's work required for that. You don't just show up. Like, you got to get people out. But like, I run my own marketing agency, and so I can make $1,000 to $1,500 for one client.
Yeah.
So the amount of energy I got to get people to come, I got to corral cats to come to a show.
Yeah.
That energy is dissipated energy if I can just focus it in on my marketing agency, and then I can advertise myself. Right now, I'm running ads for one of my clients who's doing like South by Southwest adjacent programming. So they've got comedy shows and they've got music shows, and I'm getting 24 cents a click.
Wow.
On my ads for the music and the comedy, and that's for just like general awareness, and those are turning into ticket sales. And then I'm doing messenger ads, which means, you ever see an ad on Instagram where it says message us?
Yeah.
Those click-throughs for right now in Austin, I'm getting them for $1.25.
Wow.
So now think about it. Somebody $1.25 for a person, but now I have them in a two-way communication in the DMs.
Yeah.
So I have an automation sequence that runs through that asks them for their email address, then gives them a link to go buy tickets.
Wow.
If they don't buy, I could always follow back up with them. Hey, just checking in and see if you're coming to our shows. Oh, I forgot. Let me go buy a ticket. And if one ticket is $10 and it only cost me $1.25 to get them in the funnel, I'm making $8.75 in profit for every ticket sold. Plus, what happens if they bring someone else with them? Most people don't buy one ticket; they usually buy two.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So $1.25 cost of acquisition of a fan is going to cost me. I'm going to profit $18.75.
Damn.
Per person.
That's great, dude. Yeah, no, that's such a good way to look at it, and I love anyone who has just like a different hustle like that, because it's not even different. It's the same game.
It's the same game, except I've elevated it. I'm leveraging automation, because you could go out to the park, like Jimmy was telling me. He's like, yo, I go out to the park and I busk and I hustle and I tell people the show's coming, and that's cool. You still got to do that. Keep that skill set sharp. But if I'm doing that when I feel like it energetically, but I got my automation, my advertising running for me all the time. Yeah. Right? That is an easy solution to fill that place up.
No, yeah.
You can maybe double the occupancy that night, because you can get in front of that many more people for pennies on the dollar.
No, yeah, I love that. So did you start getting like, when did you kind of discover this? Recently in California? Was it something you were doing all the way back in Rhode Island, or when?
Well, back in the day it was old school. It was just
I guess 17 years ago.
Hand-to-hand combat. And then New York, we would sell tickets in Times Square. Yeah. Right? We would just be hustling.
Yeah, you had to do the OG barking.
I did the OG barking. But then what happened for me was, I was listening to podcasts like crazy. I had JaMarr in my ears every day, and I was like, he's in LA. I'm like, I gotta go to LA. I gotta go. Yeah, I gotta go. So I got out of the military in 2012. Went back to New York for a year and a half. I did a couple things. I got on TV a couple times. Got some residual checks. I was like, yo, this is never gonna end. And then the winters come, and New York goes womp womp womp. New York, that's a callback, by the way. You had to be there. That's like a meta joke. But New York just kind of slows down in the wintertime. I was like, this ain't good for my hustle. Yeah. So then January 2014, shout out to my boy Joe Prano, comedian he originally from New York, but he booked me on some shows and stuff like that. And he was like, yo, you can come stay on my couch until you get on your feet or whatever. I was like, all right. So with $3,000 in my pocket, I got in my car and drove west, young man, west, right? And I went out to LA. And I just knew, okay, I know comedy. I know how to produce shows. I know how to book private events and corporate events, so I can make money that way. Yeah. Let me just see what I can put together. And still listening to podcasts. And when I got to LA, I was here for like a couple months, and I was like, yeah, it's a bunch of gatekeepers. Yeah. It's a long line of comics because there's too many people. Yeah. So then what I did, was I started applying for jobs up in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Because I had performed there before, and I knew that comedy scene.
Yeah, there's a good comedy scene.
And I was thinking,
up
if
there.
I can get a nice tech job in sales and in marketing, I can understand the marketing more. I know. I was like, my undergrad's accounting, business management with a focus on accounting, and marketing was my favorite class. But I didn't know where they weren't teaching social media marketing back in 1999 to 2004 when Facebook and stuff just came out. 2000, a little bit after, right when I graduated college, Facebook came out. So I was in the military when it first hit, so I wasn't that keen to it.
Yeah.
But when I went to go work in Silicon Valley, I worked at this cloud-based accounting firm. And I was making great money, but I was hating life because it was long hours. I'm like, I want time to process my joke ideas so I can get out after work and go perform. But I started leaning into the marketing department and seeing what they were doing. Okay, content marketing. Okay, advertising. I was like, oh, okay. And then when I was hitting the scene in San Fran, shout out to my man Rockman Blake. This dude is a black dude, went to Princeton, had a startup company that got funded from Y Combinator. So this dude, that's a unicorn thing. I mean, right now that everybody talks diversity and stuff like, but he got a company funded in like 2012. In the startup realm for like $1.2 million.
Yeah, no, that's so impressive. Right? Yeah.
But he loved comedy and he loved like storytelling. And so he was out there in the scene, hitting the scene. And what he started doing is he was doing like singles themed comedy shows. And then he got sponsorship from OkCupid and Match.com and those types of companies. So that's what he was doing. And so I did a couple of his shows and storytelling shows, and we always liked each other. And then at some point, his company went under because most startups fail. Yeah. But he took his knowledge of digital advertising and he applied it to his storytelling business because he realized, comedy, everybody kind of is doing comedy. I need to differentiate myself, but also take the pressure off myself so it's not as hard. And he just went into the storytelling route. So he has this company he built called Story Party. Okay. And it's the first hour is like 2 or 3 storytellers that tell dating stories for the first hour, and then afterwards they have a party in the venue.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah.
Right? So Story Party is live, and basically what he did was just with Instagram advertising. And I got to look through. I saved a screenshot of him like reporting on it. He did a tour of like 300 cities in 365 days around the world. Damn, dude. Only using Instagram ads to sell tickets to the events before he got there. Damn. Because in certain markets, it's not a high level of competition. Remember, the advertising is about bidding. It's about how many advertisers are trying to sell in that market. Yeah. And if there's low amounts, then the cost is down. So he was crushing it. And so that never got lost on me. And that's when I started to take my agencies to the next level because I started advertising for different businesses and brands. And I was like, well, why can't I do it for myself? And then that's what I've been doing ever since. I started doing that in like 2015.
Oh, dude, I love that. Just because I don't get a lot of, I have a lot of like newer comedians. I don't get a lot of comedy vets on here. Yeah. Do you have any good bombing stories? Like or like a worst bombing gig type thing? Just because you've been in it so long, I'm sure you've had some nightmare stuff.
Absolutely. I mean, it's so hard because to think about bombing, like I remember there was one time I was in Harlem where I'm from Harlem. Yeah. But I'm probably 7 years in the game at this point. Yeah. And, sometimes urban rooms, urban is just code for black people. Yeah. But
I'm sitting here like, wait, what is this guy talking about? What's urban?
But there's a certain type of black people. So urban is like more of the ghetto black people, right? That's what urban is code for. Yeah. Because black people who are upscale and first of all, upscale black people, they really don't go to comedy clubs. They like to go to the opera or the orchestra. You see what I mean? It's just a different.
See some Bocelli instead of some dick jokes.
Yeah, they're into different things. Yeah. But when you go to an urban room, if people perceive you as not being authentically black as they perceive black to be, then they give you a harder time. And it's the arms is crossed, and it's like, this nigga better be funny. And it's like, I'm from there, so it's like, but they don't really know that, and I don't necessarily sound the way that they sound. Yeah. And so people will try to be like hosts will they'll be like, yo, give it up for this next comic. He reminds me of Wayne Brady or some shit. And then and it's like, what motherfucker? like, first of all, y'all don't know how fucking badass Wayne Brady was. Like,
Yeah.
when he was acting on that Chappelle skit, like, that wasn't him acting. That was
Wayne Brady will slap a bitch.
He'll slap a bit, but like that, he has that in him. But he knows how to portray himself as being much nicer,
Yeah.
so that white people will accept him and he
Yeah.
can get work because he's also a darker skinned guy, right? So if you're dark skinned and you're tall and you're black, it's not that people are actively thinking that they're afraid of you.
Yeah.
It's been ingrained in them that black people aren't safe and
Yeah.
you know they're criminals, and so it's propaganda.
Yeah.
Right?
No, totally.
So I remember one time I just had people, you know, they're not responding to the material that I would use in just normal general comedy club scenes, which predominantly are white audiences. And so then I had to kind of I had to get grimy with it and get a little gully with it. And then it was like, oh, okay, you know, but still you could be doing okay and motherfuckers are still talking at you and some people, and so it's like, I don't ever count anything as a bomb because I've never been, first of all, I've never been booed off stage.
Yeah.
And I never will because y'all could boo me. I'm not getting off. Especially if I'm getting paid to be there.
Yeah.
I am not leaving that stage until they pay me. And now, unless a gun comes out,
then we're out this bitch.
Then at that point, I gotta leave because I'm not trying to give my daughter the $2 million life insurance policy just yet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
she's gonna hear that and hire the gunman to be in the crowd. Yeah.
Listen, it's going into a trust, and so you have to work for the foundation to get this
Yeah.
money. But no, so I've had just tougher gigs. I'll tell you a recent one I did. It was at Drake University. I had a gig where I had to perform with a mask on.
Oh.
Yeah.
God, that's
and that wasn't in the contract, and they didn't tell me before I came.
See, I had a dumb moment where for half a second I'm like, what kind of mask are you wearing? Like, I'm like, is it a Chucky mask, an MF Doom mask? Is it a and then I was like, okay, it's talking about COVID. I arguably think if you had to wear like a president's bank robber mask would have been better than wearing a COVID mask in that situation.
Almost, right? But I don't really carry masks around. You know,
Yeah.
as a black man, you don't want to have masks around unless it's COVID.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't want to have, masks.
Yeah, no, I don't understand, but I understand.
Yeah,
I can understand as much as I.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because it's masks. Well, too, because like facial expressions are such an important part of
It's everything.
comedy. Like I'm still like a funny thing that I've had to learn is as I've graduated from bar shows and these outdoor shows to now I'm getting at actual venues. I didn't realize that if I have a hat on and that spotlight's on because I'm so tall, you can't see my face.
Can't see your face.
So I got to start doing the hat backwards because I was like, I'm not doing well, and people are like, dude, no one can see you. Like you're just a strange figure. So I can't imagine just a mask trying to like give them silly eyebrow looks to make them laugh. Yeah. Did the crowd have to wear masks?
The crowd did too. Yeah. Everybody
that's
did.
rough.
It was weird. It was rough.
Where is Drake University?
It's in Des Moines, Iowa.
Iowa's rocking like that. I would thought they would have been like,
I thought it
you're
was,
not allowed to wear a mask.
I thought it was right. I thought it was red state. I'm like, that's good. But they actually split. They actually go back and forth.
It is a college too.
It's a college. Yeah. I was like, you pussies.
Yeah.
I'm like, now, I mean, I'm glad we're coming out of it. The mask mandates are lifting, but I'm never doing a gig where someone's like, you got to wear a mask.
No.
For any reason. Like, now I'll take that back. $3,000 to $5,000, I'm in.
Yeah. There's money we'll buy any.
But $2,500, no way.
Yeah.
I felt like a whore. I was like, this is not. I'm whoring myself right now. I don't even believe in this. Like, I wear the mask on the plane because I have to because they'll try to arrest you if you don't.
Yeah.
But anywhere else, I make people have to ask me to put it on because I'm just like, this is ridiculous.
Well, that was the funny thing because I moved to Texas from California in June. And I remember, I'm wearing masks when I'm leaving and I get there and we pulled into a gas station like right when we got into Texas and I walked in with a mask and it was packed and no one had a mask. And the way that they fucking looked at me, dog, they were just like, you're not from here. And I was like,
hey, that moment,
I'm sorry.
In that moment, that was probably the closest thing that you would ever feel to being a nigger in your life. I'm telling you, like in that moment, like holy shit, I was like, that's what black people feel like.
I can't.
When you walk into a place that's all white and they're not expecting your kind.
Yeah,
you were the mask kind.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I'm the brown kind.
I understand the struggle now. I'm gonna start going around telling people.
Yeah, work on that bit, but try not to. Don't use the full word. That's the closest I'll be to an N word.
Yeah.
That might work. It's risky, but it might work.
That's so fun. No, because that's what it was like. Because it was literally, I was like they were like angry, and like it was like I moved one strap, and they're like, okay, and then I took off the other, and they're like, all right, you're okay for now, but we're fucking watching you.
Yeah, we got our eyes on you, buddy.
It made me think of the scene in Rush Hour when they go into the or no, it's not Rush Hour. What Shanghai Noon.
Okay.
When they go, that's Jackie Chan and I think it's Owen Wilson, or it's like a. And like it's like a cowboy movie, and then Jackie Chan's in it, and he walks into like a bar, and he kicks open the saloon, and the whole saloon's like, like who the fuck is this guy? And so it's the mask thing's weird, because even today I went to, dude, before this, Fogo de Chao downtown was doing free food. I just went and ate. It was an event sponsored by the University of Arizona, and they had like it was like a speaker, and it made water bounce. Like, this is like the erosion layers, and they had some stuff, but it was at Fogo de Chao. You didn't need a badge or a wristband. Just walked in, and I just sat by the entrance of the kitchen, and they would just come out, and I ate 40 pieces of meat. Like, I'm like I'm getting nauseous from the amount of meat I ate. But like, the weirdest part was when we got there, they were like, you need to wear a mask, and I was like, I don't have one. Like, I thought COVID was like done, and they gave us some, but then the entire time my mask just smelled like shrimp and steak, and I didn't even have it up like 90% of the time. But when they would make me put it up, I'm like, this is the grossest smelling mask I've ever had.
I'm on an airplane. I forget. It wasn't on the way to Austin. It was where was I right before? I have so much travel. It's crazy. Like you forget where you're coming and going.
It's just blended. Yeah, I look forward to those days.
Yeah, right. But this black dude who's a little fairy kind of dude. He had just gave me some soda and some pretzels or whatever. And I took my mask off. I ate a pretzel. I drank some. I put my cup down, and he tapped me on the shoulder. As soon as I put my cup down, I was like, yeah? He goes, your mask. You have to put it back on. And I'm like, he goes, and then he just pointed to the napkin. Read the napkin. Oh. I was like, but I kept cool. I was like, okay, yeah. Put it on. Waited for him to go 2 seats prior, and I was like, off with the mask. Like, are you serious, bro? You got in between bites and chews. Yeah, you're not fooling anybody. Yeah, this is all a control game. Yeah, this is all to test people to see what they can get away with, and I'm not falling for it.
Well, yeah, because it is wild. Because it's like. Because I think it's one of those things where obviously like COVID is such a divided issue of whether like how seriously you take it, how not. I think any side can agree that it's hilarious that you can take your mask down to eat, but not to just chill. And it's like, because like, okay, like even if it's like, okay, if I'm going to continuously eat, like let's say I have a cheeseburger and fries, it's going to take me 5 to 10 minutes to eat that. Dude, in 5 to 10 minutes, COVID can spread out of. All it takes is one like breathe while I'm eating. So how does
breathe? You mean one breath?
One breath. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Oh, fuck. Dude, words are hard sometimes. Okay. I have a college degree too. I swear.
This is one breathe.
Yeah.
When you want one breathe.
One breathe. Sir, can I have one breathe, please? That's what a sociology degree gets you, dog. Is that right there?
But yeah, it can totally spread, but literally, but that's if it was really that severe. Like, people have clearly been on planes with COVID. And some people get it, some people don't for various reasons. Health is all individualized. Dude, but listen, when you breathe through a mask, listen, this is the science. The breath, the breathe molecule.
Yeah, the breathe molecule.
The breath molecule is about 20 microns.
Yeah.
Do you know how small the virus molecule is?
I'm going to be honest. I don't know what a micron is. So.
A micron is...
I don't know what the word breath is, dude.
So a micron is the size of the particle.
Oh, shit. Okay,
that
that's
comes out when you
we can't
breathe,
even see it, yeah.
Right? So, but if you can breathe through a mask, that means the mask is not stopping microns that are 20 microns big.
Yeah, I guess that's
so.
True.
If the virus micron is 1 micron big, do you think the mask is stopping that?
No.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
There's the science, folks.
Yeah.
It's so bizarre how people but in their minds, by you having on a mask, you're self-identifying as a supporter of the cause.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The mask is almost like the modern day Jewish star. You know what I mean?
A little bit, yeah.
It's like you have it on, and it's like you see no one has one on, and one person walks in, and it's like, okay, there's a Jew.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's like, it's weird.
Yeah, no. It's well, especially, yeah, because it got so politicized. Because it's like, here's my thing, dude. Like, my whole stance all the time was like, okay, like my mom works in a hospital, so I just took her advice. Like, she was like, "Hey, wear a mask."
And by the way, I have nothing against Jews. I have lots of Jewish friends, dated Jewish women.
Yeah.
Hail to the Jewish people.
Shabbat shalom. No, but like, so I just like, I just kind of was like, whatever, like I'll do what, she suggests. But I never understood where if like, dude, you're a dope dude. You're funny. You're hilarious. Like we have similar thoughts and wavelengths and all that. But wouldn't it be so psycho that if you were like, I don't like to wear masks. So I was like, you know what, dude, cut the podcast. You're a fucking piece of shit. Get out of my apartment. I hate you. You'd be like, what, dude? Like that doesn't, it's why I like really, really cared about politics for a while. And then like, we had, the change in presidents and like nothing really changed and no promises were kept. And I started to realize where I was just like, I don't care about politics because my like say doesn't do shit. And also it's so crazy to me that like, I understand that maybe if it's very serious issues, like certain rights that if that's the dividing issue of someone, sure. But to just hate someone because they check a box red or blue is stupid. It's so dumb.
And speaking of that, my mentor of nearly 25 years told me that if I voted for Trump, that he would never want to talk to me again. And I'm like, this is me you're talking about.
Yeah.
And so when voting time came, I didn't reach out to him to tell him who I voted for.
Yeah.
And we didn't talk for almost a year. And then he randomly showed up at my house one day because he's from New York, but one of his daughters got accepted. One of his daughters went to UCLA.
Okay, yeah.
And then she also got into USC Film School.
Wow, that's
so she's
wow.
right.
Yeah.
So he was in town visiting, and he just randomly showed up at my door. He didn't call me, he didn't text me, he just showed up. He was like, "Hey," and he looked all guilty in the face and everything.
Yeah.
We go on this walk. He's Jewish, by the way.
I have a Jewish friend, guys. Yeah.
We go for this walk, and we spend 30 to 40 minutes catching up. And then at the end of it, he was like, "So, good seeing you." I was like, "Cool." He was like, "So, you're going to tell me who you voted for?"
Let it go, dude.
And I was like, "Nope."
Yeah. Because
if that matters, if everything that he coached me in high school in basketball.
Yeah.
He was a teacher. If our entire history can be erased by who I choose to vote for because I think that their interests are the best for me at that moment in time, could erase all of our history, then I dare say that we didn't have a history that really mattered much.
Exactly. Well, I think that happens a lot too today with cancel culture, where maybe someone digs up like an insensitive tweet or post,
or like
something.
this podcast. Someone's gonna dig up my podcast. They're gonna cut just the one segment.
Yeah,
like
Jews, I hate them. Yeah, they're gonna move it out of order. No, I just said it. I'm part of it.
Yeah,
Fuck.
you're part of it. Cut that part out.
Yeah, get it out. Oh. And so like that. So like because people, you see it all the time where they dig up an old tweet and then that person's deemed bad, and it's not sure. I'm not taking away that maybe they didn't say something out of touch, out of color, but that doesn't make someone a bad person. People just aren't educated.
It just makes them a person. Like
no one's perfect.
No one's perfect.
Yeah, and
everyone is entitled to make mistakes. Like I heard this guy. I don't even know his name, but there was this psychiatrist.
Yeah,
he was like a chief of like a department, and he tweeted something about a black woman who was very attractive, and he's like, say what you want, but whether she's a freak show or just stunningly beautiful, I'm glad that she exists so that I can enjoy her beauty or something like that.
Yeah.
And they took freak show out of context.
Yeah,
they made it like, oh, you're calling her a freak because she's black. And that's not what he meant.
No, yeah, dude.
But he literally resigned from his job because of it. And
that's terrible.
That's crazy. Like, he just was giving her a really strange compliment.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little weird, but it's not. Yeah,
it's a fireable offense.
Yeah.
But that's why I think you have to build a life that is not cancelable. Meaning, You have to generate income in a way that you are the decider of your fate on a day-to-day basis. Because if someone else is hovering over you like a damn dog cookie out for you, and you got to jump and bite to eat it.
Yeah.
At some point, they're gonna hold it up too high.
Yeah.
And you can't reach that.
Yeah.
You can't reach that perfect status. Nobody can. So stop trying to pursue it.
No, exactly. I couldn't agree with you more. Yeah, no, it's a great way to look at it. Yeah, times are just time. There's like, it's weird times. Obviously, that's almost a cliche to say now, but it's just, yeah. I want to move into one of the segments real quick right now.
No
It's
problem.
called the Dumbass of the Week, brought to you by Red Foreman.
Dumbass, dumbasses, dumbass, 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 dumbass.
Dumbass of the Week this week. I want to talk about this because you are from, you've been living in LA, so you know good Mexican food.
I do.
I've been driving Uber Eats out here, making
Okay.
some side money, and dude, the prices of Mexican food are insane out here. I've picked up from 2 different food trucks that have $4 street tacos.
Okay.
You know, like the ones that we
Yeah.
get for like 76 cents
Yeah.
normally, or $1. Dude, $4.50. I picked up a place, a breakfast burrito, a carne asada breakfast burrito was $15 from this restaurant. They had, like, the prices and everything out here is crazy, and it bothers me because I literally cannot find a dollar taco joint out here. Like, they do not exist. I was spoiled in California.
Is it because Texans work really hard to keep illegal Mexicans out?
That's honestly probably why. Yeah. It's because Ginger and Joseph are serving me the
There
tacos.
you go.
Yeah,
We're paying them fair wages. These
Yeah.
are fair wage tacos here in Texas. That's
yeah. That'd be so funny.
Yeah.
This is what happens when inflammation. Yeah.
Inflammation or inflation?
Damn,
Yeah,
dude.
no, I
I'm
like that,
fucking,
but that's funny. Inflammation.
Inflammation. Damn,
Inflammation
dude.
of wages.
I don't like how much you're catching how bad my speech is today.
You gotta remember, I'm a speech coach, and so words matter.
No,
You know
they
what I mean?
do.
Unless it's the N word, then it doesn't matter. Not to me
Yeah.
anyway. But
Yeah.
but I just think it's funny when I'm like, because I'm thinking of ways for you to capture your natural ability to mess up words.
Yeah.
You need to keep that.
Because I do it on. The problem is I do it on purpose to words. Is it? How do you say? What's a macaroon? Are they macaroons?
That's something
It's
only white people.
macaron, right? Is what,
Macaroons. I
I
like
call
that.
it macaroons on purpose, and I can't figure out the real way to say it now.
It's macaroons.
Yeah, okay, see, because I called it wrong on purpose for so
Macaroons is
long.
funny.
There's no real way for me to say it, and I do
Macaroons
that
is
with
funny.
words.
Macaroons is funny, even though
Yeah.
I think some people might think you're talking about a person. Like
Yeah.
macaroons.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah,
my
dude.
mother says salmon,
Sound okay,
Yeah.
yeah, dude. Words like that are
and I'm like,
fun.
Ma, it's salmon.
Yeah.
Salmon? No, salmon.
Well, there's also the white dad version of saying like quesadilla and
Oh,
shit
yeah,
like that. So
quesadilla.
you got to find the balance. I don't want to become
Yeah.
a suburban dad
Yeah,
yet.
yeah.
It's my future, but
Yeah,
it's not
yeah.
where I want to end up.
Potentially,
Yeah.
unless you get with a black girl, then maybe
Yeah.
then you'll be an urban dad.
Urban dad. We learned words today. We learned inflation, urban dad. Yeah.
We learned inflammation.
Inflammation.
Inflammation of the
breath,
wages.
breath, and urban. We're learning out here, dude.
Yeah.
What's funny is so I played Division I football, and when
Okay.
I was being
Were
recruited,
you a tight end or a wide out?
I was a defensive end. I was 50 pounds heavier
Oh,
than I am
yeah.
now. So I'm like
Holy cow.
195, 200 pounds. I was 250 when I played.
Yeah,
So
and that's pretty light, but you were
yeah,
a quick one.
yeah,
you were
exactly.
Like a Jason Taylor
Stand
type.
up, defense, like
Yeah.
drop into coverage type
Got
thing a
it.
lot. So yeah, so I was heavier.
Yeah.
I just got rid of the weight
Yeah.
after football. I was like, I don't want to become a fat piece of shit.
Yeah, no.
But I got recruited by FAMU. Was one
Oh,
of the
that's
schools that
hilarious.
recruited me. Yeah,
Urban school.
My goofy white. Here's the coolest part, and I hope I don't want to get him in trouble, but the head coach of the university messages me. He goes, "Hey man, I really liked your I want to call it a tape, but I
Your
don't.
demo
my
tape, your highlight reel.
My highlight reel, that's
Yeah.
what it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah. So used to comedy now.
Yeah,
like I
yeah,
sent to my
yeah.
EPK.
Yeah.
But he was like, well, enjoyed it. Have you heard of FAMU? And I'm like, no, I haven't. And he's like,
For good reason.
and he's like, it's an HBCU, historically black. And I was like, oh, yeah. I mean, he's like, is that a problem? I was like, no, I don't care. And he was like, listen, son, if we have you come here, you're going to meet a black woman. She's going to change your life, son. And I was like,
He's so true.
What a
you would have been,
wild- yeah.
You would have been, because you would have stood out. I mean,
Yeah.
every other dude was black, like, and it probably would have been like, you would have been the minority of the
Yeah.
school.
And I'm not just-
and you're a football player, so
Yeah.
it's like, oh, he might go pro.
Yeah.
You don't know. You don't know.
And I'm not just white. I am pale. Like I'm light skinned white. I am as pale white as it can get. So I would, like you said, I'm not just a white guy there. I'm a 6'3" pale white guy.
So I have a movie we should write together. It would
Yeah.
have been, it's like the opposite of The Blind Side.
Yeah.
It's gonna be called The Pale Side.
Yeah.
And it's literally about a white guy who's going to a black college.
Yeah.
And basically, you know, he's got to live up to the hype of being the first person from the school to go pro.
Bro, you know how funny that could be?
That-
Just putting him, like, I'm like, I want to join a frat. And so I join, like, the Q dogs.
Yeah,
And then, like,
exactly.
they have my white ass trying to
Yeah.
learn how to stomp. And
Exactly,
do all that.
exactly.
Yeah, that would be so
That
funny
would be
just
so
because... Like, because you could just make fun of how white people are so sometimes awkward
Yeah,
around
just the
different
difference,
cultures,
yeah.
like trying to fit. Oh, that could
Exact-
be.
that
That's
would
a
be
hilarious
funny.
idea,
That's a
dude.
hilarious
That'd be a
idea.
great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't. When he said that to me, it made me laugh so hard because I
Yeah.
was just like, that's a hilarious thing to just say to like a recruit.
No, but think about it. You don't think the white coaches call the black players and
Oh,
say,
yeah.
"Listen, we got some
snow
we got some
bunnies
snow
down
bunnies
here."
here that will change your whole
Yeah,
life."
you're
The
gonna
dude's
be
like,
the
"Really?"
Southern broad, yeah.
Because some of these guys they grow up in places where they're only around black people their whole life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then it's like you're going to go to this D1 school, and now you're going to be the
Yeah.
minority, but you see a bunch of white people. That's culture shock for a lot of people.
No, totally,
I
totally.
mean, I grew up in New York City, is diverse, but I went to college in Alabama. I went to Auburn University.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, I'm 6'1". At the time, I was like 195
Mm-hmm.
pounds. Everybody thought I was a wideout. So they were
Yeah.
like, "Hey, you playing on the team?" I'm
Yeah.
like, "No, I'm here for academics,
Yeah.
sir." Like,
They're like, what? Like,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah, no, yeah, because that's the thing is even it was very weird for me because I went to Murray State, which is in the middle of.
That's where JaMarr.
I went to school with JaMarr. I used to come
nice.
like, dude, when he would go to parties, like it was like a celebrity walk.
come
It was
on,
fucking
Ja.
crazy, dude.
Ja.
It was so cool seeing
He's
him.
a beast.
But that was even weird because I remember like I would, Kentucky. I'm from California. I grew up in a very like white town with white people, but it's not the same as growing up in like, the sticks or
Yeah.
some random places.
Yeah.
It was very wild as I would roll around with a football team that was predominantly black to see like firsthand just genuine racism. And the problem too is
Yeah.
like we're talking about, I'm very pale. So other white
Would just
people
think you
would
would-
come up and be like, yeah, say some out of pocket shit. I'm like, I don't know what do you
Yeah.
mean, bro? Like,
Yeah.
I remember one time the baseball team kicked out all of us, the football team, because they said we made the party too dark. Like, that was they came to me like, hey, bro, you're making the party too dark in here. And I was like,
Wow.
What? Are we in 1812 right now? What the fuck? And it was weird.
But really, that's code for we don't want to compete for women.
Yeah.
With these fucking
Yeah.
superb athletes all around
Yeah,
us.
exactly.
What else could it be? If you're not intimidated, if you're equal to a man, then because the thing is first of all, black men are oftentimes more outgoing.
Yeah.
When it comes to talking.
Oh,
to women.
totally,
White
yeah.
guys sit back and just expect women to walk up.
Yeah,
to
we
them,
lean on the wall and head bob.
Whereas
and
black
yeah.
guys be pulling up like, "Hey, how you doing, girl? Hey,
Yeah.
let me go ahead and get you something to drink over here." You know what I mean? Rock
yeah.
your world or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they don't want to compete with that. So in other words, the reason why racism still exists is because white men are lazy and don't want to compete on equal playing fields because it probably won't be that competitive. You'll have to step your game up.
Yeah. No, it was, and I think one of the wildest part of that interaction for me as someone who's just grown up so like sheltered is obviously like I was mad because these are my brothers, like
Yeah.
like these are my boys, like we
Yeah.
grind together. So like I like was like I cannot believe
Yeah.
this, and like me and like the few other white dudes were like, are we gonna like fuck these dudes up?
Yeah.
And they were just all the black dudes were like, nah, dude, like it's not worth it because like
not
if we
worth
fight
it.
them, like they might have guns, like. The cops are never going to take our side. Like, they're like, we're not wanted here. Like, let's go somewhere we're wanted. And I was like, bro, that's crazy that, like, y'all have experienced this enough.
Y'all,
in your
I like
life.
how you call us y'all.
Dude, I lived in Kentucky for 2 years. And here I say y'all.
No,
dude.
but even when you say y'all, it's almost like you people. It's like y'all. It's like
Yeah.
just y'all. No, but I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. It's like developing thick skin is probably the best thing to happen for you in your life.
Yeah. No, totally.
Because you're always gonna have you're always gonna have someone who's hating on you for some reason.
Yeah.
And if you let the hate infiltrate your mindset, it's gonna keep you from getting to your goals because it's distraction.
Yeah, you can't let them dictate. If you're a tough skin, you don't let other people dictate your mood and feelings.
Exactly.
Because there's nothing.
You're in control of your emotions at all times.
Exactly.
So if somebody's like, hey, we don't want your kind here. Like, hey, no problem. I'll see your girls when they're on their way out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and then you just bounce. You just roll. But I don't want to be anywhere where I'm tolerated.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go where I'm celebrated and appreciated.
Yeah.
And if there is no place, then I will make that place.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah, because it's like me being white and you being black should be like a cool thing in a concept that it's like I'm like, hey, here's some like white people shit, and you're like, here's some black people shit, and like,
but I probably know more white people shit than you do. Because I've been on this earth for almost twice as long.
Yeah, exactly.
And I've experienced a lot of things that people will perceive as being white. The reality is that everybody has different interests based on their cultural upbringing, but also the choices that they make. And we're actually way more alike than we are different because we're Americans.
Dude, we're stand-up comedians.
Yeah, and we're stand-up comedians. Like, we're different. We're different from almost everybody else.
We're not a black and a white dude. That's not what defines us. And it's more than that. And so that's why it's always weird when someone's like, I'm not gonna like him because he's black. I'm not gonna like him because he's Asian. I'm not gonna like him because he's white.
How do you know? Like,
well, he could be the coolest Asian white black dude you've ever met.
And like they say, the darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. You know what I mean? Like, you just never know. And it's like, and don't get me wrong, like I love all women, but I live in America. It's mostly white women. Yeah. And so it's like that tends to be what I lean towards. I met this beautiful black woman last night at the club. Yeah. I might connect with her when we get back to LA. Yeah. Who knows? But I'll tell you what, when you have a 9-to-1 ratio of options of any kind, the overwhelming option is what you're going to more easily walk into because it's easily accessible. Yeah. So, you know what I mean?
No, yeah, I totally get you.
And then when you have crossover appeal, ching ching, you have crossover appeal, then you spread even more. Because, I mean, there's a lot of black people who are like, I only date black people. And it's like, that's cool. You do whatever you want. But I like to have all the options.
Fuck, bro. Yeah.
Trying to bang, bro.
But I don't care.
But I'm about, it's really for me about the variety. It's about the personality, the sense of humor, the sensibilities, what they're about. You know, it's about principles. You know, it's the context of the what is it? Martin Luther King said it's about the contents of someone's character. Yeah. Not their skin. Because there's a lot of people who will look exactly like you and will do you dirty.
Oh, yeah. Oh, totally.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
But who's going to really have your back? I was talking to a chick recently, and I knew it was casual. She lived in Vegas, but we were talking for a couple months, and she kind of was ghosting me for a couple weeks, and I was like, hey, what's going on? She's like, I don't know how to tell you, but, you know, I was really drunk the other night, and I was hanging out with my best friend. He was a dude, and I slept with him, and I got pregnant. Oh. And I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. And like, and so what are you planning on doing? Like, I don't know. I was like, oh, okay. Well, thanks appreciate the honesty. Yeah. It didn't change how I felt about it because I didn't have any expectations of it. And the reality was I saw how you were living. You living fast and loose, and you're in Vegas. So shit, what happens there stays there. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Really, you know, but that was a white girl. I know black girls that have done similar things, and it's like it doesn't matter what the color of the skin doesn't dictate what's the contents of their character. Yeah, how are they going to show up? How are they going to respect whatever you're trying to do with each other? Yeah, that's what matters most.
No, 100%. You know, dude, we're coming to the end of the podcast here. This has been a blast. This went
by quick. This went by fast.
No, yeah, I know, dude. Yeah, if I looked down at the thing and I was like, oh damn, we're getting close to an hour already. I always wrap it up with a few would you rathers. So I got some would you rathers here for you. This one we thought would be a good one for you because you said you played basketball, correct?
Yeah, basketball.
So would you rather act in a supporting role along your favorite actor or actress, or play alongside your favorite sports person? So obviously, if you know your favorite sports person is someone who's retired, like somehow you get to play along with them in the.
I mean, that's a great question, and because I understand the power of marketing, from a business standpoint, I would rather act alongside because then that's content that I can reuse and post and get. But if I'm playing alongside somebody, it's like, what is it? We the only ones there? If it's just me and LeBron, like cool LeBron. But if they didn't capture it, it didn't happen.
No, exactly. Well, and that's my thought too. Is like acting that, like you said, it's cool. You're more noticeable. I don't want to go get more brain damage, dude. Exactly. I've already got my fair share of concussions. I don't need to go.
You don't need any
like
more.
It would be sick to play alongside Von Miller, but like I don't need to wake up and like forget my kids' names at 45.
Exactly.
I don't want to be driving on the other side of freeways and shit like that.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I'm going to go with that one too. I get these from Reddit, and 156 people voted and 124 said act. So I think it's just as cool as sports was. I don't want, like, I did the physical shit. That was already a fun part in my life.
Yeah.
I don't want to get. You know what, dude? I hope I never get tackled ever again in my life.
No,
there's no reason.
If you get tackled now, you've done something horribly wrong, or you were hanging out with your old black football players and they did something wrong, and you're going down for the crime.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, dude. There's no. I'm either getting arrested or I'm now in a fight.
Yeah.
Like it's not
with someone who's trained in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. I should probably just tap out at this point. You win. We're done.
Yeah.
Take my wallet. I'll get a new one.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. I'm with you. I'm going with the act. Okay. So, this one I thought was an interesting psychological one. Would you rather be a murderer but never get suspected, or be innocent but everyone thinks you're a murderer? So like,
you don't got to explain it. I understand that very clearly. I'd probably be a murderer.
Yeah.
Who never gets suspected, and in particular, I would want to kill child molesters and people who rape
some
women.
Dexter shit. Yeah.
Dexter.
Okay, I like that.
Dexter. I'll be a Dexter type murderer.
That's good. Yeah, because the murderer. Because here's because I always take these would you rather's very seriously because I've been doing them for 102 episodes.
Okay.
So like. My thought, too, is the psychological standpoint is, sadly, we care more about what people think about us than what we really think about ourselves. So, sure, holding the conscience of you murdering someone, I'm sure sucks, but I'd rather get invited to things and go get to do things and have friends and family that care about me than everyone being like, don't invite Brandon, he's a murderer. And I'm like, dude, I swear I didn't kill him. Like, and they're like, sure, dude, he's a fucking, like, that'd be way worse.
It is. Perception becomes reality.
Yeah. So, okay, I'm going to go with you. Be the murderer. Let's see. 124 people voted. 101 said be a murderer. So, again, we're with the majority because dude, just, it's like, Jimmy actually asked this when he was on here. So I'll ask you. He said, would you rather fuck a goat and no one knows you fucked a goat, or not fuck a goat and have everyone think you fucked a goat?
I definitely would have with that. I would want people to think that I fucked a goat. Because I think that that's actually funny.
No,
And then I can just tell people that I'm the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
At fucking goats.
The best answer I heard was from another. I don't know if you met Seth. He was the bearded dude.
Okay.
Yeah. He
the one that was raging.
The rager on stage. Yeah, the yeller guy. Yeah. I heard him get asked this question, and his response was, why would I fuck a goat if I can't tell the boys about it? And I was like, that's a good funny white boy answer.
Yeah.
All right, dude. We got one more, and then we'll wrap it up. I'll let you plug all your stuff, promote any shows you got coming up. All right. Which convenience would you rather have? So this one is, there's 4 choices. Would you rather never have allergies again? Always put your socks on correctly so they're never fucked up. You never put that on. Never get rocks in your shoes, or never have to go to the bathroom right as you get comfortable?
Oh, wow.
I feel like I'm getting rid of the sock thing. I'm not picking that one. It's not that I wouldn't appreciate that, but the other ones I think are significantly better.
Yeah. You know what? I mean, I would rather never get allergies again.
Do you have bad allergies?
Not bad, but once in a while I get the sneeze.
The Santa Ana winds get crazy too in Orange County, LA.
But I would say that because nowadays people think you might have COVID when your allergies do attack. Yeah. People they look at you like you might have COVID. So I think if I can get rid of that, that makes my Negro status a lot more acceptable in public places.
Yeah. Have you ever seen that? I think it was a Theo Vaughn tweet that he said coughing in public is the new N-word. Because there was a point where like right there where I literally I coughed because my throat hurts from talking for an hour. So I coughed, and then there's someone who's definitely like, he has COVID.
So I'm gonna recommend some throat lozenges for you.
Oh hell yeah!
Some honey and tea, especially if you're before you podcast.
Yeah.
To lubricate your throat. Pause. so that you don't get that scratchy feel, because I can talk for 2-3 hours with just just some water.
Yeah.
But you have to build up the muscles in your throat. To
Yeah,
be able
no.
to be able to get to that 3-hour status like Joe Rogan does.
Oh yeah, no, I couldn't imagine that. Especially like because I'm getting on more shows now, so it's like performing, hang after, yelling at a bar, come do this. All of a sudden, I'm like, damn, like my voice is a little fucking tired.
But that's why they have the green room, because if you're gonna be talking after, you want to be someplace in a more chill environment.
Exactly.
So you can bring your voice down and
kind of
for the ladies.
decompress
For the ladies. Yeah.
Smooth ASMR voice.
Yeah, sir.
Yeah, dude, I think I'm with you. I honestly though, I think because I don't get crazy allergies, I'm gonna go with the never have to go to the bathroom when you get comfortable, because I swear that happens to me so much, and I'm a hypersensitive sleeper. Like I need it dark, I need it quiet, and I'm one of those people that if I lay down and like I feel like I gotta piss, I won't be able to fall asleep because it's all I could think about.
And how old are you right now?
24.
24, yeah. So when you hit my age, it's your control just is all over the place.
Oh
it's
yeah,
like
that's gonna stress me out too much. So I'm gonna go with that one. Let's see what we got. This one has 2.4K votes, so a more popular one. 1.3 said never go to the bathroom. 900 said never have allergies again. 143 said no rocks, and only 23 people said the sock thing. So there was either very niche or they're trolling and picked
that was but I mean that sock thing. I think when you get to a certain age, you should have a pretty good understanding on how socks work. And when you're younger, you can kind of put it on, and it's like how does this turn in my shoe like this? But at a certain age, if you have a man foot, if your foot is really designed but if you have a feminine foot, as a man, then maybe the sock is because then the sock treats you like a woman would treat you. Always changing her mind.
That's a good one. That was fucking funny.
Yeah.
You got me right there. Yeah, dude, because now that you think about it, that is a terrible choice. You have a wish, and that's what you're going to choose, because all of a sudden I was like, when is the last time I put a sock on wrong? It could only be if I was like on one foot in a hurry putting one on. But otherwise...
But if you're having a rush, if you're rushing and socks is the item that you have to literally like completely not focus on, you got bigger problems in life. If the cops are chasing you, you leave without the socks.
Yeah, dude. If you're struggling to put socks on, you probably say words like breath and inflammation instead.
No, breathe.
Breathe. Yeah, breathe. Oh yeah, dude. This is a blast. This is a fun fucking podcast.
Appreciate it, man.
I'm glad you're able to get on while you got out here.
Absolutely.
When I'm back in LA, I'll have to hit you up. We'll have to link up again.
Let's definitely link up.
Yeah.
You have to do my podcast too.
No, hell yeah, dude. I'd love to. I want to give you a second to plug all your stuff, anything you got going on. This will be out on this Wednesday, March, today's the 12th, so 13th, 14th, 15th, it's on the 16th.
Yeah, the 16th. So speaking of the 16th, I'll be in Massillon, Ohio at Crackpots Comedy Club hosting for the World Series of Comedy. Ooh. So all of you comedians out there who might listen to this podcast, the worldseriesofcomedy.com, go check that out. It's a festival that's been running for 12 years.
Damn.
We do 13 stops, so 12 clubs around the country with the finals happening in Vegas. It's a great opportunity to partake in this festival. Basically, we have 40 comics at each location. You get a chance to be seen by the club, the bookers, other bookers in that area. If you do great, you get booked, you get feature work, and then you get to go to all of these 12 spots, network with other comedians. There's actually a convention that happens in Vegas where you network, you get coaching, you get tips, you get tags, you get all of these things to help you understand the business of comedy. And remember, we're in show business, emphasis on the word business, not the word show. So if you can get the business aspects together, sometimes you don't even really got to be that funny, but you'll be invited back to places. People will want to take you on the road with them because you can help increase the revenue of the operation. Besides that, IamJaMarr.com is my website. I am JaMarr, JaMarr. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at JaMarrJ. And I am known as the Entrepreneur, man. So for me, marketing, business, I help comedians build their lists and go from the algorithm to the inbox so that you can control your audience, your relationships, and build a successful business with different brands and opportunities. It's endless out here. There's so much money to be made. And humor is at a premium because it's a skill that's very hard and most people don't have the wherewithal to do the necessary work, to go through the crucible of life to get good at comedy. So when you can get good at comedy, there's so many opportunities to write, create, and perform, and connecting all of that with brands this is the best time to be alive, especially in the Web3 space.
Yeah.
I'm about to bring comedy to the metaverse. So keep up with me. Stay up with me if you're interested in any of that. At JaMarr J on Twitter and Instagram. And it was a pleasure kicking it with you, Brandon.
No, dude,
Appreciate
it was.
Let's go, Brandon.
Yeah. I actually have a Let's Go Brandon flag that was given to me as like a gift. And I wore one time I wore it on stage as like a cake because I was just like, yeah, it's funny. But yeah, dude, thank you so much. This was a blast. I appreciate all the knowledge you shared. I want to talk to you more about that too and all that. You're super funny, dude. I hope everyone make sure you go follow him. Check out all his stuff. For the listeners, thank you so much for listening. If you're in Austin next week on Saturday, I'm doing a show. I'm so excited for this. I'm doing Guns and Giggles. It's a show at a gun shop.
Nice.
And it's the first show I went to watch when I came here. I have actually a bit that I do about that show. So I'm actually, it's a bucket list show for me out here. So I'm super excited doing that. Other than that, guys, check out Your Last Review on YouTube on my new food show if you haven't seen that. And then other than that, guys, if this is your first time listening or your 102nd time listening, I appreciate you. And most importantly, thank you for letting us be your last resort. See ya.
This has been a Your Last Resort production.